for joining us on The Skeptic Psychic, where we delve into ancient societies, ghosts, the paranormal, UFOs, all looking at it from the perspective of the true believer and from the skeptic perspective. Joining me, my partner, my co-host, my sibling, Kimber Rodriguez. Myself, I am Richard Gregg. And again, let's look into being the skeptic psychic.
Hello. How you guys doing today? I hope you like my pictures I posted in the Skeptic Sidekick. And this bang, bang, bang that went with the beat to my head. Cause you're so crazy, I'm so full. Makes me crazy when you act so cool.
Wake me up before you go.
Yep.
How are you this evening?
I'm pretty good. How are you this evening?
Oh, I'm doing okay. Kind of bummed that Discovery Plus is canceling a couple of shows that I enjoy. One being one of my favorite shows, Porter to Hell. So that kind of sucks.
Well, Jack will be back. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, he's actually supposed to be doing a new reality show with his family since they're moving back to the UK.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to be doing a reality show over there about it.
Ah.
So yeah. So what else is new with you? How's your head doing since I know
My
we didn't
head's
get it
doing
last week?
fine. I'm doing all right. My beard's growing out a lot longer now.
Well, that's good. You're going to give Jason a run for his money?
No, I'm just gonna get it to it just a little bit longer.
Ah. So, any news or updates for our fans tonight?
Hmm. I don't know. Another personal news. I'm two steps away from a TBK and my D&D group. So
Yes, it was very unfortunate today.
yes, they thought
Yes.
they had it.
Yes, we tragically did not. One of us actually died, but I brought him back.
Yes, and then of course we got another one that's trapped somewhere.
Yes, we got to figure out how to bring that one back.
Yep. So hold on a minute. I'll be right back.
Okay. Oh no! We lost our co-host. Be just a moment while he is doing what he needs to. In the meantime, thank you for all of those joining us. If you're joining us on YouTube,
Huh?
make sure I am just welcoming everybody.
Okay.
And if you are joining us on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe and hit the notifications so you know when we have new videos. If you're on Twitch, again, please subscribe. If you're listening to a replay on Apple Podcasts or any of our others, please rate and review us. What kind of rating do we like, Rick?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 étoiles. 5
Yes.
étoiles. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes, we will take any rating. We do love the 5 stars. But also, if you can, leave us a review. We do enjoy reviews. You can also rate us on Spotify as well as on Amazon or Audible. So, anyway, tonight we're talking about angels. Where did they come from? Where did they go?
They went right back to the Cotton Eye Joe.
Yes, and I want to kind of share. We didn't get any viewer stories this week, but I do kind of want to share a couple of short tales that kind of go along the whole idea of angels, so to speak. Of course, these were stories told to me because I was too young to remember. The first was that I was with my mom, and we were in my dad's old red Ford pickup truck, fix or repair daily. And we had broken down on the side of the road. My mom says that, this is like way before cell phones or anything like that. So she's like wondering, like, what are we going to do? and this car stopped. The guy gets out of the car, starts walking towards us, and my mom got a really, really bad feeling about it. So, the doors are locked, the windows are rolled up, she's praying, and all of a sudden, this guy from our church comes up, and the other guy gets the car and drives away. The guy from our church comes and he's like, I don't know why I came this way. I don't even live this direction, but something told me I had to come this way. So thankfully he came and helped us. Another time, my mom and I, again, just a baby, don't remember the story. It was just shared with me growing up. Again, we were in the red pickup truck. Truck broke down, ran out of gas. Guy comes up and tells my mom that he's going to take us to get gas for the truck. My mom, of course, is hesitant, and he's like, I promise I'm not going to do anything. I know you're here with your baby. It's not safe to stay here alone. Let me take you to get gas. So my mom went with him, took me with her, of course, got gas at the local gas station, came back. The guy put the gas in our truck. My mom opened the door to the truck to get in, turned around to thank the man, and him and his car were gone. She did not hear a sound of a car driving past, didn't see the lights, nothing. So she truly believes that that was an angel who stopped to help us that night and give us gas. So just wanted to share that. Don't know if you remember hearing those stories, Rick, but those are a couple moms told to me growing up.
Vaguely.
Oh. I guess maybe I remembered it better because it was about me.
Probably.
What does that say about me?
That you listen to a lot of things to.
Yes. I paid attention to my mother's stories growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and start talking about angels. You want to kick us off?
Angels watching over me every step I take. Angels watching over me. Okay.
Okay. My computer's doing something weird. There we go.
Yes, angels and angelic type beings have been recognized by humans since the dawn of civilization. The archetype of communication between mortals and the divine, angels or angelic type forms exist in almost every religion and culture. They appear as either a harbinger of death or to announce joyful and profound events. They bring catastrophe, destruction, and protect little children while they sleep. Angels have appeared as whales of fire, beautiful human like beings, or monsters. They have been portrayed in ancient art and popular movies, songs, and charm bracelets. Protectors and destroyers, angels are beautiful and wondrous, profound and yet simple as a child's faith. In ancient times, however, angelic type beings appeared in various forms. Isis, the winged deity of Egypt, had obvious angelic qualities, while Horus, the winged disk, resembles a member of the angelic host referred to as thrones or wheels of fire. The Greek Hermes, also known as Mercury in Roman times, sported wings and were known as the messenger of the gods. In the ancient Zoroastrian faith, guardian angels called Vashi and were mentioned in a great battle between angels of good versus the angels of evil. Not only do Islam, Jewish, and Christian faiths, basically Islamic Judeo-Christian, feature angels, but mention of the archetypes of Michael and Gabriel by name, Jibril.
Angels come in all temperaments and types. They have appeared as wheels of fire and as giants with glowing faces and brilliant bright eyes. They assisted in creation and later destroyed cities and towns. Lucifer, the morning star, was said to be God's favorite, who fell out of favor to become the prince of darkness. This is when he became jealous of God's favorite creation, us, mankind. And it was an angel who escorted Adam and Eve out of Eden. An angel visited Mary to announce the coming of Jesus and later comforted Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. An angel, Jibril, also known as Gabriel, dictated the Quran to Muhammad. Angels come from Greek word angelo. This is possibly translated from the Hebrew word malak, meaning messenger. We tend to associate angels with winged immortals in human form, carrying messages from heaven. A spiritual being believed to act as an attendant, agent, or messenger of God, conventionally represented in human form with wings and long robes.
Wings and large robes.
Yes.
Kind of an interesting look to them. There's also different responses to that. But we can also go into that word winged deity dates back to 6500 BCE. It was found in Anatolia, Turkey. It is a vulture-like form that seems to represent a god form responsible for moving the souls of the dead. It is believed that the inhabitants practiced sky burials, where corpses were left to the birds to eat. It is thought that this vulture developed over time to become a vulture goddess that was found on a mural of a woman dressed with vulture wings. In Judaism, angels are understood through interpretations of the Tanakh, and in a long tradition as supernatural beings who stand by God in heaven, but are strictly to be distinguished from God and are subordinates to Him. Occasionally, they show selected people God's will and instructions. In this tradition, they are also inferior to humans since they have no will of their own and only able to carry out divine commands. Christians inherited the Jewish understanding of angels, which in turn may have been partly inherited from the Egyptians. In ancient times, angelic type beings appeared in various forms. Isis, for one, the winged deity of Egypt, had obvious qualities like Horus, the winged disk resembles a member of the angelic host known as Thoros, aka wheels of fire. And I just made me feel like I just kind of repeated myself there.
We just want to reiterate that, hit that fact home.
Yes.
Yes. Let's see. Which god? Isis was the god of
Goddess.
goddess god. You know what I mean. And she was one of the creators, right? According to Egypt mythology.
No, she was the wife of Horus, I believe.
Yeah, weren't they the creators, Horus and Isis, the ones who?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
Nope.
okay. Then who did create the world according to Egyptian mythology?
Ra.
Ah, the sun god.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, in the early stages of the Christian concept of an angel, it was characterized as the angel being the messenger of God. Later came identification of individual angelic messengers, again, Gabriel, Michael, Raphael, and Uriel. In the third space of little more than 2 centuries, this is from the 3rd century to the 5th, the image of angels took on a definite characteristic both in theology and in art. Angels were conceived as one type of being among many, whose primary purpose was to guard and guide Christians. And according to the Book of Enoch, which is an ancient Hebrew work not accepted into biblical canon, though I believe it should be, angels called Gregory or the Watchers introduce agriculture to humanity. These tall, radiant beings also instructed humans in the making of metals and weapons. But some of the Gregory overstepped the boundaries of friendship with mankind and mated with women, which were the daughters of Eve. The monsters that were spawned of these unholy unions induced the wrath of God, who sent a flood to destroy the world. Now, some UFO buffs believe that the Grigori were actually extraterrestrial visitors who came here to Earth to encourage civilization. I think this is also where the theory and the idea of the giants came from.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, these Grigoris made it with man, and that's how we got giants,
Right.
which is very interesting because they have actually found skeletal remains that could be giant size, which I would love to do an episode on that in the future if you're interested.
Well, one little problem is the fact of we don't really have. Yeah, they say they found it, but we don't really have the proof. They.
I've actually seen pictures of these skeletons remains that they
Mm-hmm.
found. But yeah, that's something I would definitely like to look into doing an episode about sometime. Is fact or fiction's giants.
Yes.
But going back to the ufologists, they compare extraterrestrial visitors to angels, and many believe that they are one and the same. They see spaceships as ancient depictions of spaceships. I'm sorry. They see spaceships and ancient depictions as similar to the thrones or the wheels of fire. Radiant humanoid extraterrestrials came to Earth to impart messages from beyond the Earth or from the heavens, often warning humanity of their error of their ways. Such movies like Days the Earth Stood Still introduce an angelic extraterrestrial, Clado.
No, 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 no. Clato.
Okay,
Barata.
Clato. I'm sorry, I never saw The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Barata.
Bless you.
Thank you.
That
I know you've
was great
seen.
timing.
I know you've seen Ash versus the Evil Dead.
I saw a few episodes when it first came out, but it
No,
kind
no,
of
no, no, no,
really.
not. I'm talking about the Bruce Campbell versus Evil Dead, the third movie of the Evil Dead series.
Oh, you're talking about. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. I can't think of what it was called right now, but yes, I've seen it. It's
Yes,
yes,
Clato, Barata,
yes. Okay, I got you.
Nikto. He was supposed to
Yes,
say it. He screwed up on that and brought forth the hordes back again.
yes. Okay. Well, Klato attempted to bring peace to Earth by frightening humanity with an awesome display of power, personified by the great glowing robot
Gort.
Gort. Yeah, somebody says Klato Baratu Nikto.
Yep.
Also, we have the Marvel comic books featuring their character with the X-Men, Archangel,
Mm-hmm.
who I always liked.
Yes. William Williamson the third, I think his name is. Let me just
Wow.
verify that real quick.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed with the whole. I loved the first two X-Men
Warren
movies.
Worthington the third.
Uh, I really enjoyed the first two X-Men movies.
Mm-hmm.
But then when they went with the first class and I got all these younger actors, hipper actors or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
it really killed it for me because it like totally took away from the timeline of the comics if you watch the movies. And it just I wasn't happy with it. I wish they would have kept the original cast that they
Yeah.
had. I mean, first class was one thing, they could have done that, but then for the other movies, especially the Dark Phoenix, they should have kept the original cast and followed
Yeah.
the storyline better. But I digress. Continue.
Do I have to? I'm kidding.
Oh, come on.
Yes. At Christmas time, we all root for Clarence to succeed in saving George Bailey's life from despair in a film, It's a Wonderful Life, so he can earn his wings. We name children angels and to refer to our beloveds as angels. Nurses and EMTs are often called angels of mercy. In August of 1914, during World War II,
Fun.
British World War One, British and French troops fell into retreat from the Germans. Wounded soldiers reported angels in the field of battle. French soldiers thought they had seen Michael, the archangel, while the British claimed it was St. George. And by thoughts, Michael and George are often thought to be one and the same, the Dragon Slayer. In any event, the man they saw was a tall blond man in golden armor, with an air of calm serenity. In later reports, the Germans claimed that they were unable to advance and their horses turned and ran. The angel became known as the Angel of the Mons, after the area in which his appearance took place. There are many, many cases of seeing their guardian angels in their time of need. Here are just a few for you to think over. Melinda Baby entered the hospital in 1994 with acute pain of fibroid tumor the size of a grapefruit in her uterus. The surgery was successful, but complications set in, and her troubles weren't over. Melinda recalls she was in horrible pain. She had an allergic reaction to the morphine she was given, and the doctors tried to counteract it with other medications. This made the situation even worse. She had just had a major surgery. Now she was dealing with the pain of an acute drug reaction.
Uh, Jackie from Learn About Ghosts is here. Welcome. And she says that she's had 2 angel experiences and believe that they are real. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. I'd love to hear those stories sometime.
Right. And who said Klata Barata Nikto? Wave your hands up and say hello.
Yes. My mom, when she was pregnant with me, she wasn't supposed to have me. There was a lot of issues with her pregnancy. And so the doctor had told her that either I wouldn't make it, she wouldn't make it, or neither one of us would make it. Jackie did that too. That's
Okay.
but thankfully, I was born healthy. My mom's still here, but because of that, she's always thought of me as being her gift from God, and so she's always called me her angel. And that's been my nickname since I was a little girl from my mom.
Now, what happened with Melinda? Please continue.
I was just getting to Melinda. Sorry.
Okay.
After receiving more pain medication, she was able to sleep for a few hours. She's quoted, I awoke in the middle of the night. According to the wall clock, it was 2:45. I heard someone speaking and I realized someone was at my bedside, she said. It was a young woman with short brown hair and wearing a white hospital staff uniform. She was sitting and reading aloud from the Bible. I said to her, Am I all right? Why are you here with me? The woman visiting Melinda stopped reading but did not look up. She simply said, I was sent here to make sure you'd be all right. You're going to be fine. Now you should get some rest and go back to sleep. She began to read again, and I drifted back off to sleep. The next morning, she explained the experience to her doctor, who checked and said that no staff had visited her overnight. She asked all of the nurses, and no one knew this visitor. To this day, she says, I believe that I was. Hold on, my screen just went black. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. How's everybody else doing out there? Wave your hands if you can see us. Wave your hands up above there. Wave your hands if you just don't care. Because we're talking about angels. Angels.
I kind of lost my screen for a moment. Can you see? Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
Okay.
You
Says,
got thumbs up too.
I believe that I was visited by my guardian angel that night. She was sent to me in comfort and assure me that I would be okay. Coincidentally, the time on the clock that night at 2:45 a.m. is the exact time recorded on my birth certificate. the day I was born. Interesting note, when Mercy was in the intensive care unit, it was late at night and nobody was there, and I was kind of, worried about him if he was going to make it. And I started to doze off, and I just hear this most beautiful angelic voice saying my name. And I awoke and nobody was there. But in a sense, I believe that that was an angel coming to me to tell me that everything was going to be okay.
That's sweet. Yeah. Let's talk about the angel nurse. In 1998, Luke, not his real name probably, was diagnosed with bone cancer at the sweet tender age of 8. As sometimes happens, he came down with an infection, which meant he had to go to the hospital. He was there for about 2 weeks, and that's when something remarkable happened. One evening, Luke's mother was sitting at her bedside quietly praying as he slept. A nurse came into the room to check Luke's temperature, but his mother noticed something rather peculiar about her. The nurse was wearing an old fashioned type of uniform that would have been common 30 years earlier, in the 60s. The nurse noticed Luke's mother had a Bible by her side of her bed. She said that she was a Christian too, and she would pray for Luke's healing. Luke's family had never seen this odd nurse before, and they never saw her again in Luke's remaining time at the hospital. I came out of the hospital fully healed of my infection, says Luke, who was 19 when he told the story. Remarkably, he is now completely free of cancer. My mom believes that this nurse could only been a guardian angel or was coming down to give my mom some hope, Luke said. If she wasn't an angel, why would she be wearing a 1960s old fashioned nurse clothing?
Maybe a ghost?
Maybe.
Let's find out about Ellie. It was a late afternoon, and Ellie was outside gathering the family laundry from the clothesline. There was a there was a sudden small willy willy, which is an Australian term for a swirling wind funnel of dust and leaves. As it raced past me, I saw something blue whirling in the middle of the dust and leaves and managed to grab a hold of it. She says, I was surprised and very pleased to see it was a $10 note. A few days later, Ellie was at the back of the yard checking her garden tomatoes when she spotted something lying in the grass. She was astonished to find a $20 note. Not long after, in another part of the garden, she found a $5 note and another $20 note nestled among the leaves of the daylilies. By this time, I told my family of the angel money, she tells us. None of them had put the money there, not with the possibility of it blowing away in the often high winds of the summer. All was quiet for a few days. Then one of my sons came in with an ear to ear grin and a $20 note he had just found on top of a compost heap. Most of us would say this was not angel money at all, but the money that someone had lost that had simply blown into Ellie's yard. But Ellie's not quite convinced of that explanation. That's because a week or so later, she had another amazing find, and this time it was in her house. I was cleaning out under the bed and pulled out a pair of slippers, and there, nestled in the toe of one, like a grace note, was a 50-cent coin. I hear
50-cent coin.
Yes, I hear Ruby back there sharing her ideas on angels.
Yep. So, no, it kind of brings up the fact of I had a friend of mine that basically he was whenever he sees some trash lying on the ground or flying by, he'd pick it up and, you know, put it in his pocket until he got to uh, into his pocket or to carry later. Uh, and he got home that night, reached in his pocket to pull out, loose change and his keys, and that piece of paper actually turned out to be $100 bill.
Wow, that's pretty
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah, most I ever find is maybe a dime.
yeah.
Yes, Mercy has a habit of. We saw this movie one time, and in the movie, you know how they say that it's bad luck if you find a penny laying upside down?
Hmm.
So one of the characters in the movie, she would flip the penny over so that the next person would find it would have good luck. So now Mercy, whenever we're out and about and he sees a penny face down, he'll flip it over and leave it for the next person.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yes.
Anyway, going back to the ADT, we'll also go back in 1980, where Deb, who was a single mother of two infants living in San Bernardino County, California, she occasionally needed reliable babysitters. Fortunately, her parents lived only about 30 miles away at Ada Loma. Deb would usually drop her parents off at her kid's house, reverse that, her children at her parents' house and go what she needed to do, then pick them up in the evening. One night, Deb had retrieved her babies from her parents' place and was heading home. It's late about 11:30 p.m. She was driving her old clunker. Among the many car's deficiencies, the gas gauge would be broken, requiring to guess when the old thing needed fuel. Occasionally, her guess was off. Halfway home, the car started to sputter, Deb remembers, and I realized I was on empty. I pulled off on the first off ramp and I could, and just happened to be the only one that was slightly uphill. Almost at the top of my exit, my car died, and there was absolutely no way around except for my empty fields and my distant lights at the truck stop about a quarter mile down the road. With no cars in sight, Deb didn't know what to do. Kids were asleep, and walking miles while carrying two kids in the middle of the night was not a good option. This, of course, before cell phones, so she couldn't call for help. I put my head on the steering wheel while saying a short and panicking prayer. I hadn't even finished when I heard taps on my window.
Okay, this sounds very familiar to the story I told in the very beginning of the show,
Yeah,
which
that
is
does.
weird.
That's weird.
Yes. For those of you who missed the beginning of the show, I and my mother went through a similar experience to this when I was a baby.
Hmm.
However, for Deb's story, when she looked up, she saw a clean cut man standing there who Deb estimated to be about 21 years old. He
Hello.
motioned, yes, hello. He motioned for her to roll down her window. She remembers being surprised and said, but I wasn't even the slightest bit afraid, even though I normally would have been terrified. The young man was dressed well and had a faint smell of soap. He didn't ask if she needed help. Instead, he told her to put the car in neutral and he would help her over the last small hill toward a place where she could get gas. She thanked him and followed his instructions. The car started moving and she steered it towards the lights of the truck and stopped to turn around and yell thank you to him.
Hello, Phoebe.
Hi, Phoebe. Glad you could make it. Sorry about that. He was so nice. My car kept moving, but the young man was nowhere in sight. This area was completely remote. There was absolutely nowhere he could have gone that quickly. And even if there was somewhere to go, I don't even know where he came from to begin with. Deb's car continued to roll down the hill until it reached the truck stop. She was able to get the gas she needed, and the kids remained sound asleep. She's always trusted God to take care of us, but in relating the story many times to her children, who are now 30 and 32, they know for a fact that angels do exist and are sent to help us if we just believe. She
Yes.
says, I always thought it was so amazing that we were sent someone who I would trust instinctively without question. Since that incident, I've come to believe that we probably encounter angels all the time, and we take them for granted on who they really are. I think they come in all shapes and sizes, young and old, and sometimes when we bless you, when we least expect them.
Sorry, my chair hit.
Oh, I thought you sneezed again.
No.
Oh,
Now let's go ahead and talk a little bit about different angels, starting with the Native Americans.
yes, we are not the only ones who believe in angels.
Right. Native Americans, though they may be called by different names, benevolent spirits being quite similar to angels can be found within our religions, mythologies, and lore. Hindus have avatars. Buddhists have devas and Bodhisattvas. Bodhisattvas. The Greeks, robot daemons, and other spirits similar to angels. Guardian spirits and spirit guides have been taught by tribal cultures. All these have similar functions and are helpful spirit messengers or angels. Now, Native Americans hold a ditch hold a rich account of spirits and angels and their spiritual beliefs. The dead live on and even visit us. Death is typically viewed as a door into the next life or worlds, and that's something to be feared but embraced. Native American spiritual belief could hold rich accounts of spirits or angels. That is just the same. Yes. Thanks to our editor in chief. They do believe that uh, Pervadas,
Again, we want to drive that point home.
yes, all creatures and every creature possess a soul in some degree, though not necessarily a soul conscious to itself. The tree, the waterfall, the grizzly bear, each is embodiment force or such objects of reverence. Says Oyesa Asu in 1902, aka Charles Eastman. Hmm. The Native Americans' belief in spirit angels visitation can be found in an amazing speech made in 1854 by Chief Seattle, for which Seattle is named after. Excuse me, I'm going to clear my throat here. And when the last red man shall perish from the earth, and his memory among the white men shall have become just a myth, these shores shall swarm with the invisible dead of my tribe, and when your children's children shall think themselves alone in the field, the store, the shop, upon the highway, or even the silence of the wood, they will not be alone. And he said that in 1854.
That's very lovely.
Yes.
Now, Muslims believe that angels or malaika were created before humans with the purpose of following the orders of Allah and communicating with humans. Muslims believe that angels, like other creatures, were created by God. And in Islamic belief, angels communicate messages from Allah to humanity. The messenger has believed in what was revealed to him from his Lord, and so have the believers. All of them have believed in Allah and his angels and his books and his messengers, saying, "We make no distinction between any of his messengers." And they say, "We hear and obey. We seek your forgiveness, our Lord, and to you is the final destination." This is from the Quran 2:285. Angels in Islam have the following qualities: they are made from light and have no free will. They tell Allah about our behavior, and they are limitless. They are invisible. However, they may reveal themselves to humans on special occasions. An example of this is when the angel Jibril revealed himself to the Prophet Muhammad. The belief in free will is essential in Islam. This is because for Muslims, life is a test from Allah. Therefore, all human beings must make their own decisions, and they will be judged on those decisions by Allah. On the day of judgment, God will reward those who have had faith and done good deeds, and punish those who have not. So God judges people on their choices, not on the destiny already decided for them. And the Quran confirms this. We may be able to speak directly to God through prayer, but according to the Bible, He reaches us through a variety of angels, each with distinct duties. There are 9 types or choirs of angels within 3 major groups. These groupings were established by a 5th century Catholic monk, commonly known as Pseudo Dionysus. Regardless of where they are on the hierarchy, angels, like us, are individuals. However, unlike us, because they are able to see far beyond a mortal timeline, they are extremely patient and forgiving. They are aware of our personal life goals and they are assigned to assist us, but they are never to interfere with our free will.
Interesting note. In the Christian Bible in Revelations, the first time John sees an angel, he falls down to worship it. And the angel looks down at him and says, "Do not worship me. You and I serve the same God. I'm, you know, I am no better than you." Now, talking about the angels that are pseudo Dionysus, seraphim, that means the fiery ones. It is a plural word, seraphim. These angels mentioned in the Bible as having faces, hands, and feet. Each seraph has 6 wings, 4 of which they use to cover themselves in the presence of God as a sign of humility. They use the other 2 to fly. They cry out, "Holy, holy, holy," and appear to worship God continuously. They're often depicted in religious art. These are the angels who are closest to God. They encircle his throne and emit an intense, fiery light representing his love. Seraphim are considered fiery serpents, and not even the other beings may look at them. There are only 4 of them, and each one has 4 faces. When they come to the earth, they leave their serpent appearance behind, preferring the tall, thin, clean cut human embodiment.
So, would these be like the archangels, or is that something different?
That's something different. These are the ones that are actually the I'd say more or less they are the almost like the handmaidens
Oh,
to
okay.
God.
Interesting.
Cherubim, also known as which is the plural of cherub, are the keepers of the celestial records, and they hold the knowledge of God. They are sent to earth with great tasks, such as expelling humankind from the Garden of Eden. Ancient art depicts cherubim as sphinx-like winged creatures with human faces, not the fat babies with wings that now grace greeting cards and book covers.
Hmm, interesting.
Orphanal and Rubicule and Zoraphil are cherubim, as was Lucifer before his fall to evil.
Hmm.
Thrones appearance as the most bizarre of the first grouping. They are said to look like great glowing wheels covered with many eyes. They serve as God's chariot and dispense his judgment in order to carry out his desires for us.
Interesting.
Yes.
Now we take a look at dominions or dominations. These angels in the second group can exist in a state of transition between the celestial and the human worlds. They are considered heavenly governors, attempting to strike a balance between matter and spirit, good and bad. You can think of the dominions as middle management. They receive orders from the seraphim and the cherubim, then dish out duties to the worker bee angels of the lower orders. Their main purpose is to make sure the cosmos remain in order by sending down power heads of government and other authority figures. Zadkiel, which is sometimes called Hashmal, is the chief of this order. Then we have the virtues. These are shaped like sparks of light. Virtues are in charge of maintaining the natural world, and they inspire living things in areas such as science. They also take orders from angels above and convert them into miracles for the deserving. When they make themselves known to us, it's in their earthly form. They are musicians, artists, healings, and scientists who work with the power of love as well as physics. The two angels at the ascension of Jesus are believed to have been virtues. Then we have the powers. In their celestial forms, powers appear like brightly colored, hazy fumes. They are the border patrol agents between earth and heaven, and they are the angels of birth and death. Some believe that they also preside over demons who wish to overthrow the world, while others, namely St. Paul, thought the powers themselves were the evil ones. In any case, powers are a group of experts who serve as advisors in terms of religion, theology, and ideology.
Principalities. The third group of angels is one of the ordinary humans who have the most interaction with. First in this group are the principalities. These angelic beings are shaped like rays of light. Just like the principal in school, the principalities oversee everything. They guide our entire world, nations, cities, towns. What's more, they're in charge of religion and politics. As if their plate full isn't enough, they're in charge of managing the earthly duties of the angels below them. Archangels!
Woohoo! Here we go.
These, along with the other angels, are guardians of people and of all things physical. But don't call on them to help you personally. Archangels respond best when dealing with matters involving all humankind, such as justice. The order is most commonly known because some are mentioned by name in the Bible: Michael, Gabriel, Raphael. They are engaging in a spiritual warfare by fighting against demons or bring messengers from God, such as when Gabriel came to Jesus to tell her that she was going to be the mother of Jesus. It is believed there are only seven archangels.
They came to Mary to tell her that she was going to be the mother of Jesus. He didn't
Yes,
he didn't come to Jesus to say, "Jesus, you're your mother."
I said that Mary, she was going to be the mother of Jesus.
Okay, tell us about the last ones.
Regular angels, these are the guardian of people and all things physical and are the most common type of angels. These angels are just messengers to humanity. Personal guardian angels come from these categories. Angels may protect and warn humans as well as act as warriors on the behalf of God.
Yes. Now, the idea of an angel of death is presented in several religions. Angel of death is known as Samuel, Sariel, or Asriel in Judaism, as Malak Almart in Islam, as Yama or Yamarjay in Hinduism, and as the Grim Reaper in popular fiction. In various mythologies, the angel of death is imagined as anything from a cloaked skeletal figure with a sigil to a beautiful woman to a small child. While these details do vary, the core belief is that a being comes to a person at the moment of death. They either actually cause the death or they simply observe it, with the purpose of then taking the person's soul to the abode of the dead. This angel of death concept is not taught in the Bible. The Bible nowhere teaches that there is a particular angel who is in charge of death or who is present whenever a person dies. 2 Kings 19:35 describes an angel.
Chapter 19, verse 95 describes, okay,
Yes. It describes an angel putting to death 185,000 Assyrians who had invaded Israel. Some also see Exodus chapter 12, the death of the firstborn of Egypt, as a work of an angel. While this is possible, the Bible nowhere attributes the death of the firstborn to an angel. Whatever the case, while the Bible describes angels causing death at the command of the Lord, scriptures nowhere teaches that there is a specific angel of death, which is very interesting because I've actually heard of people seeing this so-called angel. I know our mom told me a story one time about she looked out the window and she saw a little girl across the street, and she was sitting on the on the curb crying, and mom could see like this large black angelic figure, like like it looked like its wings were enveloping the girl. She said later that night at the girl's home, there was an ambulance. So mom thinks that that was the angel of death coming to get the girl, which is very,
Maybe.
very sad. But anyway, what are your thoughts on angels and tonight's topic? Have you ever experienced an angel?
Nope.
In all the things you've seen and heard, you've never experienced an angel.
No, to be honest, no, I've never really experienced an angel.
Ah. Do you believe in angels?
Yes, I do.
What
Just
are your
because I've never I've 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 never seen uh, what's underneath. How a blade of grass comes to us from a seed through the dirt doesn't mean I don't believe in grass.
interesting? So you believe there are angels among us?
Yes, not like the Nicolas Cage movie.
Oh my gosh, that was such a horrible movie.
I know.
Oh my gosh, I we saw the previews and we're like, oh, this looks like a love, such a wonderful movie. And so we go to take mom to see it. When we go to see her, Mercy and I take her to see it. At the end of the movie, we're all like shocked, and mom looks at me and she's like, how could you bring me to see such a horrible movie?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that was going to happen. And
No.
I don't want to give it away in case anybody hasn't seen City of Angels. Just
Yes.
to say, yeah, there's a little bit of a twist there.
Yep.
So, any other thoughts on angels this week before we wrap up?
Uh, just like I said, there are forces that are unseen and seen that we cannot explain, and just because we try to think logically, and sometimes when you do think logically, the ultimate uh, conclusion to your thoughts is illogical. As Sir Arthur Conan Doyle once said to the words of Sherlock Holmes, you must look at every clue and dismiss the the facts, rumors, and stories, and whatever's left is the truth, however odd it may be. That's just not really a true quote, but in essence, what he said.
Yeah, it definitely does make sense. I mean, if you look at it, there's three sides to every story. There's your side, my side, and the truth. And basically,
The
in
truth falls
order
in between.
exactly, and to get to the truth, you have to dissect and analyze both sides to
Hmm.
figure out the truth in between. Um, but next week, we're going to take a flip on this topic, and we'll be talking about the antithesis or the
Antithesis.
I can never say that word, but you know what I mean. We'll be talking
Hmm.
about demons, who they are, where they came from, different theories of demons. I We will not be using any names of demons because I don't want to bring any about, but we will be
Hmm.
talking about them next week. And again, if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe and hit the notification. If you are watching us on Twitch, also make sure you subscribe. If you're listening on a podcast, we ask that you rate us and review us. How many What rating do we like? How many stars?
We like a 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes, 5 stars, but we'll take whatever you give us.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that if you do rate us, that you also leave us a review. If we suck, tell us, in a nice, nice way. We
Mm-hmm.
do listen to all our reviews. We do read them on air.
Yep.
So it's a good way to get a shout out. Also, if you have any stories that you want us to read or anything you want to share, you can always email us at info@skepticpsychic.com. There you can share your stories, your ideas of future podcasts, ask us questions, and a shout out to Shelly again this week. Thank you, Shelly Priest, for doing the research on our episodes. We always enjoy you coming up with this great research and taking the time to find, this great information and write it up for us. And so, kudos out to Shelly. Anything I'm forgetting?
No, nothing you forgot.
In that case, everybody have a wonderful night, and we love you.
Oh,
yes.
did you actually tell info@skepticpsychics.com?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
If you have any stories, questions, concerns, if you'd like to be on our show, or if you know anybody that you would like to be on our show, or a topic you want to hear about, email us at info@skepticpsychic.com. Or you can also join us at our Facebook group, Skeptic Psychic, to hang out, share your stories, memes, ask questions, and just have a good old time. That's on Facebook, Skeptic Psychic Facebook group. And other than that, everybody have a great night and sweet dreams.
And unpleasant nightmares.
Good night, everybody. Have a great one.
Good night, you